What's up YouTube, and welcome back to Dove Iron. In today's video I will be doing an unboxing review of the Bonbo fire pot that you can buy on Amazon for just $152. Stay tuned. Alright, so with all of our parts laid out here on the table, let's take a closer look at some of these. We'll start with the fire pot. For one, I want to point out that this fire pot is made of one solid piece of steel that was rolled and then welded on the corners. The corner welds on the outside are solid, they're large, they're uniform, and they're well fused to the material. Perhaps a little underfill, but no big deal. It's going to hold, especially considering that this is just rolled from one piece of steel. Now looks like they tacked on some flat bar to give it the edge on the outside. That's what these are right here. And on the outside, or on the bottom portion of this fire pot, they're just tacked. But on the other side, they do have 3 welds on each side, and then they're welded together here. So I'm not too worried about this part. I think it's going to be fine. It basically just serves as an edge for the fire pot itself to sit into your coal forge stand. Now the welds on the inside of your coal forge are not great, but at the same time, their only real purpose is just to seal that crack, because the welds on the outside are doing all of the majority of the weight, or taking all the majority of the weight. So the fire pot, one thing I am curious to see is how well this powder coat paint holds up. Can't imagine that it's going to last very long. I think after the first session, all this paint's probably going to get burned off. So I would definitely recommend setting up a fan somewhere so you're not breathing in paint fumes. Other than that, the hole's an appropriate size. The measurements are 1 foot by 10 inches by 3.5 inches. Which is what it's advertised as, so that's good. You know, you can rely on that portion of it. So yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good about the fire pot itself. I think it's going to be just fine. You should definitely get your money's worth out of it if you buy it. It'll last decently long, if not even longer. So yeah, I'm pretty satisfied with the fire pot itself. Moving on to the ash dump. The ash dump, the square tubing is made of what looks like 1/8 inch material and probably 16 gauge on the tubing. The round tubing. Same thing on the welds. They're very similar to the ones that are on the inside of the ash pot. They're not great, but considering how thin the material is, these are going to be just fine. Really, all I'm looking for out of these welds is that it keeps an airtight fit. And you know, the powder coat painting will probably last a lot longer on this than it will on the fire pot, which is good. Everything's made of pretty decently solid material. There's a nice 3/4 inch piece of round bar for your ash dump handle, which is a little excessive, but you know, I'd rather be more excessive than less excessive. So yeah, I'm all right with that. I think it's going to be good. Good solid hinge. So now here's your clinker breaker, and the clinker breaker looks like it's good. You know, the welds are solid, holding the thing together. It's looks like 3/8 round stock, holding 1/2 inch plate for the clinker breaker itself. This part. So yeah, it looks pretty solid. I think it's honestly overall, I think this looks like a pretty solid quality product. I expect that it'll last quite a while. For 150 bucks, I think it's absolutely worth it. What I plan on doing is building a stand for this fire pot, because trying to buy a brand new coal forge, you'll spend, you know, $600-700 on a coal forge. Why do that when you can just buy the fire pot and just make the stand? You could probably even get away with making it out of wood if you really wanted to, although I wouldn't recommend it. I plan on using the steel from an old bed frame, and just welding those pieces together, doing a little fabrication. So yeah, no big deal. This looks like a pretty solid piece. Let's put it together. It does come with 2 screws with 2 compression washers. All right, now one thing I'm noticing right off the bat is the clinker breaker is really loose in there. Kind of just wants to free float. I'm a little worried that if I start building my fire, and my coal is just going to start falling through. So I think when I'm making my stand, I might try to build in some sort of stop for the handle down here. Something that would just keep it solidly in place when I want it to. Otherwise, I'm worried that this thing is just going to fall right through, which is a little concerning. I don't want to lose everything while I'm building my fire. So either that or maybe a grate just to keep everything in, and then I'll just, when I'm ready to break my clinkers, I'll just kind of move the grate. But probably I'm just going to create a little stop for this. So I think overall, though, it's definitely worth the 150 bucks. And if you have a pre-existing fire pot stand, then by all means, I mean, I don't feel like you can really go wrong with this. It's definitely worth the money, and it's pretty solid. It's a pretty heavy duty piece, and just the way that it's designed is really unlikely that it'll actually fail. One thing that might pose a problem in the future, but I don't think is a definite deal breaker, is these bolts that hold the stand, that hold the ash pot on, are sort of exposed here at the top. And when they get exposed to all that really excessive coal heat, they might just melt away or weld themselves even to the fire pot itself. It's possible. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'll do another probably 60-day review on this once I've been using it for a while to see if there's anything that I'm not so sure about. But for right now, I think this is a pretty solid piece. And yeah, so if you guys would hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to watch my next video where I build a stand for this and put it to use. All right. Thanks for watching Dove Iron. I'll see you all next time.